After starting the year off to a hot start, the Liberty men's lacrosse team was looking to make this not only a season with another top 10 national performance, but looking to make a run at a national title. But with the Flames season cut short, they now look to next year, as well as look to compete in their new conference. And sitting down with me now is the head coach of the men's lacrosse team, Kyle McQuillan. Kyle, thanks for sitting down with us.
Yeah, no problem.
Kyle, let's go back and talk a little bit about your season, because the Flames were coming in on another year where not only they were going to be a top 10 team in the country, but looked like they were pushing for top 5. And you guys were really off to a fast start, not only being one of the hotter offenses in the country, but you had an unblemished record too.
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate. We had started the season at 6-0 and felt pretty good about the direction, obviously, that we were headed. I think that the real meat of our schedule was still upcoming, and I think that I'm probably one of many coaches that is out there saying, well, this would have been our year, and was really looking forward to the places that this team was going to be able to take us. But unfortunately, wasn't able to see that through the entire way, and being able to finish 6-0 was a good thing, but obviously would have liked to see us be able to play out a lot more of our season if it was possible. So.
Yeah, and talking a little bit about obviously everything kind of coming to a crashing halt, because there was still talk about trying to salvage somewhat of a year, not just for Liberty, but for a lot of teams trying to do their conference tournaments and nationals. But obviously then eventually everything came to a halt. But everybody on the team still kind of took it in stride and actually still had a good mentality about it.
Yeah, I think we were optimistic, and like everybody, you wanted to at least have the hope that there was going to be somewhat of a season that you could play out, whether it would be finishing out the regular season or postseason play or even a national tournament. But as things continued to evolve, it became pretty realistic that wasn't going to happen. I think everybody that was involved in this, because that's the unique thing about this, is it didn't just affect Liberty Lacrosse, it didn't just affect the lacrosse community. I mean, this is a worldwide thing. I can't think of something within at least my lifetime that has affected everybody on such a large scale as this. So I think that the guys will, I don't want to necessarily say be better for it, but I think that they've definitely learned a lot. And we always preach as coaches, and I'll kind of speak on behalf of, I think, all coaches, but I know that we always say, like, hey, play this game like it's your last, you know what I mean? Because you never know when it's going to be taken from you. And unfortunately this year, that was exactly the case when I had a large group of seniors that played their last game and didn't have that mentality going into it. And that's the part that I think, if there's anything that sits with me that leaves me a little bit uneasy, is the fact that any of our, not only my players, but just any player that participated in their last game or their last practice, and they didn't know that it was going to be their last one, because I'm a big believer in closure, and unfortunately there's going to be a lot of people that didn't get that.
And yeah, obviously talking a little bit about closure, for some players, they're going to get a chance to have that closure because the MCLA, along with a lot of other organizations, they granted spring amnesty for the seniors. So for some of your guys, they're going to get a chance to redo that senior year. But I know, as you said, other guys, they're not going to get that chance because they're just going to move on and go on with life because they've gotten a full-time job. So talk a little bit about just having the chance for, not only you're bringing back some very talented guys, but even more so, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, though, you can't bring everyone back.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a blessing for some of these guys to be able to return and hopefully finish off their lacrosse careers the way that they wanted to, and that was on the field. And each guy we had to have a kind of conversation with and determine academically where they stood. And at the end of the day, we're probably going to be able to bring about 50% of those guys back, which I think, looking forward to next season, puts us in a much better spot than I even anticipated us being going into next year. I know we've got a lot of really talented recruits coming in this year, and we were going to be able to restock and reload, but being able to retain some of those guys and some of that senior leadership. But I think the perspective that they are going to have now, and along with the rest of the guys, that like this is a great opportunity, and nobody's guaranteed anything, and I'm hoping that speaks volumes. And we preach here a lot on doing everything with gratitude. That's kind of the one non-negotiable that we have as a program, is that everything we do with gratitude. And I think that's going to probably be the one of the easier things to be able to preach on next year. And the fact that now they've got some real life examples of having that taken from them, I think change a lot of people's perspectives, and hopefully it'll translate into a much more driven and focused group of young men next year.
And obviously not only help with transitioning, bringing back some key guys with very young roster, talented roster as well. You're transitioning into a new conference. So talk a little bit about not only the decision to not only transition into this new conference, but the excitement with it, because not only is it going to help with an automatic bid to nationals, but even more so, it makes the out-of-conference schedule a lot more kind of more key for you guys.
The ALC was created this past summer. It's the Atlantic Lacrosse Conference. This has been something that's been discussed within the SELC for years. The SELC is, in my opinion, the best conference within the MCLA, but its size and just the geographical distance between a lot of the programs has been tough. And at the end of the day, when a lot of these programs are run at the club level and paid by the student athletes, trying to minimize costs and make it as affordable as possible is sometimes the most important thing. The idea of a more central mid-Atlantic conference made a lot of sense. So this upcoming year will be the first year of the ALC. There'll be 8 teams that used to compete within the SELC that'll be a part of this new conference, and I think it'll create some really neat opportunities for us to try some different things, new locations for conference tournaments, provide some more opportunities for some teams for playoff eligibility. There were too many positives about making this change to ignore. And I'm excited about the future of the ALC and Liberty's role in it. And we've still got some competition within it with Virginia Tech. They haven't gone anywhere and will continue to be a big rival for us. And teams like Clemson and West Virginia, a team that's been on the rise. And we're hoping that the level of play increases with the duration of the conference as well. So,
well, Kyle, thanks again for sitting down with us, and obviously we're not only excited to see how the team competes in the new conference, but getting back to playing lacrosse here on the fields. But once again, thanks again for sitting down with us.
Yep, appreciate it. Thank you.